All right, welcome back, everyone. This is the third Main City radio podcast. I'm joined with DJ Oracle, and today we want to go over the top NFTs for Main City that we would buy if we were starting fresh with about 500 US dollars. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the competitions and a little bit on our thoughts from the Winter Showdown, as well as maybe how we're going to change our strategy up for the Christmas Showdown. And then lastly, we want to talk a little bit about the floor that we've seen with the Loaded Lions, as well as Dark Lions and many of the other associated NFTs with Main City. So thank you very much for joining me, DJ. Oracle, once more. We're back at it again. So I'll let you do your
Yes,
little
yes,
shout out and we'll
yes.
get into it.
Yes, thank you for always keeping everything together, for hosting. And yeah, we're excited to have everybody back. We love Main City. We love to talk about Main City. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave some comments. Anything that you guys want us to talk about, any questions, we're more than happy to answer and bring them to the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, if you have any suggestions on topics you'd like to hear us discuss, by all means, drop it down in the comments. The more ideas and the more fuel for, these podcasts, ways to make it more relevant to the questions that the community has. I think that just strengthens what we're trying to do here. So definitely, if you got any suggestions, please drop them down below. But
Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, perfect. So thank you very much. Do you want to maybe lead us off here? So yeah, like the first topic, what like I had mentioned is, if we had 500 US dollars, and with the knowledge that we have of the game now, if we were to start fresh, I just want to try to give people maybe some suggestions, not financial advice, obviously, but some suggestions if
Yeah.
they're getting into the game here, what NFTs I think are a top priority to own. So yeah, I guess
The very first thing we're gonna need is some lands, right? So now it's like, which lands should we get?
yeah,
So what would you do? Would you do a dune? Of course, maybe what dune would be a good one, but how about the next one? What is it? What's the next land?
the Auroras,
Uh huh.
and then we got Lagoons. Those are your epics. Then your legendaries, your Molten Caverns, and your final one, your what is it? Mythical is your blockchain.
The
Floor,
blockchain with no obstacles in it.
no,
Like the
exactly.
thousand.
Yeah, and I think the floor on a blockchain is like 3,500, so 3,500 US. I believe the Molten Caverns are sitting somewhere around 600 US. A Lagoon is just over $200 US. And then last I checked, the Auroras were pushing on 70. They were at about 60 US for a bit, but they're coming up on $70, I believe now. And I think Dunes are somewhere around the 35 to 40. You'll see them all the time, but we'll just
Yeah,
for
40.
interest sakes, let's just say they're 40 US dollars.
Yeah, I'm checking. Actually, I'm checking around. I'm like, oh yeah, I can. Because I'm not the one like screen recording, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I can move my screen around. So
Yeah,
yeah, the dunes are 40 right now. The Alluring Aurora are 70 right now. So yeah, they went up almost $10 in a week.
I'm glad I got some at
Um,
59.
right, and then from there we go to Epic, the
Sapphire Lagoon.
214. The Sapphire. It's at 214,
Okay, nice.
and then Legendary. That's the
Molten.
Molten Carbon, right? Molten.
Yep, Molten Caverns.
It's yeah, 640, the cheapest one right now. And last but definitely not least, the mythical, which is $3,498.
Yeah, that's insane. Maybe one day I'll sell that to one of my chain gangs. But I guess for relevance here, so even today, I was engaging with, I believe his name's Adrian on X. Um, he was asking what to buy, and he was going to buy a molten cavern, right? Because I think he just
Uh,
liked the molten cavern look. Um, Now I had suggested, that instead of buying that one piece of land, sure, it's got a good base diamond generation, but I told him it's probably better to take, like what you just said, what it was 640 or something like that, like $600.
um,
So, we're doing a practice example of 500 US, but, even 600, 700 for a molten cavern, you're way better buying a bunch of dunes for that price. But
yeah, because you get multiple lands, so
yeah,
not supposed
exactly.
to just one. Yeah. And you can also like invest on NFTs because we still have if you want to produce diamonds, even the flashlights give some diamonds. What is it? The shelters, right?
Yeah, shelters, those are expensive, the tents, but I've seen those flashlights, like the core tools, they pop up every once in a while for $1. Like,
Yeah, I actually
why
bought
not?
like 10 of them at $1.
Yeah, yeah, I try to scoop up them. I mean, almost at
Like,
this point, anytime I see a core tool or even elite tools, any of them drop to $1, it's like, yeah, might as well. Can't sell them for any
yeah, like
cheaper.
so if somebody's gonna need it later, and guess who's gonna have it for sale?
Exactly. But yeah, okay, so I think we're both in agreement. First thing, if you're gonna buy anything for Main City, it needs to be land. And I think, yeah, if you're looking at dunes, I would say probably buy dunes at least for your first 5 lands, right? That would put you at, what are we looking at? $200 US there, for 5 dunes. So we've still got
Yeah,
$300 US left to spend here. Um, where you could then, start looking at buying, you can buy a nice, like a prettier
I think
land if you
I think
wanted
a
a
dark
lagoon.
lion. Start with a dark lion, so you can start getting into the lion family. Because the dark lion has some of the benefits that the loaded lion has. It's just at a better price, I would say, right?
Very good call out, actually, because a lot of times the events for tickets and stuff like that are extended to dark lines as well. Whereas cyber
Yeah,
cubs are usually left off. So definitely, if that their floor right now, I think is like $100.
Ni-
Um,
96. I'm looking at it right now. 96 is the cheapest one.
yeah, so maybe don't buy the floor, buy one that you actually resonate with, and you're looking at maybe 110, $120. So we've spent, let's say, let's even say like you buy a dark line up to $150, right? So now we're at 350 of the 500 spent. So we still have $150 left. I mean, sure, $500. It's like, well, that's a lot to really spend on a game, but you also need to remember, like, it's part of an investment in a sense because you can always turn around and sell these later, right? So even though there's royalties that you have to pay on selling it, you know, they're pretty stable at this point, with good potential to go up, like we were talking about earlier. So I don't, you know, I don't think of it too much as like, I'm spending this money on a game. Rather, I'm like investing this money in some NFTs that I can use in this game. So it's a little bit different in my mind, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of gamers that would really go online and play Call of Duty and spend all this real money on on
Skins.
like in-game articles that are really just like funny, like just there, not funny money, but like pretend assets. And here, I mean, even if you start playing the game and if you sell blueprint, that's 3 crore, right? That's actual crore that so as you start off the game, again, like we said earlier, this is not financial advice. This is us talking about a game not only do we love, but it's actually giving us it's giving us back, like I remember selling my when I first sold my first blueprint. I was like, oh, like I even asked like the CMs. I'm like, how do I track my transaction? Because I didn't see it, and just the fact that I learned how to track my transaction, I was like, wow, this type of gaming is like different. Like this is the future of gaming.
Oh, I agree. And I've been thinking that for the last. few years, the revolution of true digital ownership through NFTs, I think is going to be, well, it's going to be a revolution to the gaming industry. And a lot of people, I think, are sleeping on it at this point. But, that's a story for another day, honestly. I think you go on forever
Yeah,
about gaming tokens and stuff like that. But okay, so we've
but
got
yeah, getting
$150.
getting things here that, like you said it right. Anything that you get here, you're tired of the game. You can always sell it back to the market.
Exactly. And so we bought a dark lion, right? For between 100 and $150, depending on if you find one in between that range that really suits you. Obviously, you can go really expensive. I've got a crypto.com drip, dark lion. Those are the chain gang, arguably dark lions, and they're I think their floor is somewhere around $600 or $700 right now for one, comparatively to a loaded lion chain gang, which floors at like 2,500 to
Yeah,
3 grand. So big difference in them. But
but
you
you
could,
could still rock. But you could still rock the swag, right?
yeah, exactly. So you could say you're part of the gang, right? But
Yes, out of the chain gang.
but that's where there's that buying one that you really like versus just buying one for utility in the game, right? So where if you can find one that you absolutely love and will cherish and be your main dark line for the rest of your life off the floor, then you just won, really, in my eyes. Like if you could buy $100 line and you absolutely love every part of it, and that's yours for the rest of your life, you just saved yourself tons of money. Go focus on you buy a second dark lion. They're stackable, good for in the game. Increases your attack duration, decreases attack costs. Like dark lions are definitely a solid purchase, I think.
Yeah, I know you said it right too. Like buy one like spend those few bucks, those extra bucks to find something that represents you. That says, yeah, this is me in the game. That was very well said, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's the way I try to. Sure, you can buy ones up off the floor and be like, I saved $20. Okay, congratulations, you saved $20, but do you love that lion? Right? Or if you would have
Yeah,
spent that extra $20, is that a line that you're like, yeah, I love its helmet and the weapons it's got and the mask it's wearing and the color of its skin. Like, I just love everything about it. Or are you just buying a,
the weapon. Yeah,
yeah. So that'd be my
yeah,
recommendation.
uh-huh.
And then, yeah, I guess so with the,
So how much money we have left?
we've got either two, let's say 150, right? So we spent $150 on a dark lion.
Okay.
Which is 50% above the floor right now. But we bought one we liked instead of just one for utility. So, well, we got $150 left. We've got 5 dunes and a dark lion.
Okay. What will you go for next? We
Backpacks.
need some. Oh
Backpacks.
yes, sir. Well called. Yeah, good call. Yep.
Yeah. My
Definitely.
and one of the biggest things that I suggest is like look at your life and say, okay, because if you're on a free account, you're only getting 4 hours of offline income generation. And you need to be able to look and sort of just reflect, okay, how many hours of offline income generation capture do I need? And try to buy some backpacks around that. I like my 8 hours of sleep, so I want to have a minimum of another 4 hours of backpack space. So I have 8 hours that I can be away from the game.
Yeah, and it goes time off and then also capacity, because one thing I didn't realize at first when I first started buying backpacks is that even if it's the same rarity, it has different capacities.
Yes. Yeah, and that's sort of that small trade off too is like you can buy the really cheap backpack, right? Like the commuter backpack, which is your very basic one. But, I think the floor on them's right now $4, and I'm pretty sure all of the ones on the floor are the 3 capacity. Whereas I know at least last week when I was looking, you take an extra dollar, right? So now you're at $5 per backpack, but you can find five capacity common backpacks for $5, right? So it's a dollar per capacity plus those
Yeah.
backpacks give you an extra half hour of offline income capture.
So right now they have the six capacity, which is the max on a regular backpack, for $7. So you're paying a little bit of like $1.10 for capacity
Yeah,
for
yeah,
weapon
a
for a
little,
seven
yeah.
dollar right now. Yeah.
So that's even at $7, like, I mean, I guess this is where the trade-off comes. Like, sometimes you'll see a rare backpack, which, I think their minimum is seven capacity. And sometimes you'll see those for like $8, $9, right? When you see that, I usually like to pick them up. Sure, they've got low backpack capacity, but it's an extra hour of offline income. So,
Because of the rarity of the backpack.
yes, yeah. So it goes,
Uh,
I can't remember verbatim, but 30
yeah.
minutes, hour, 2 hours, is it? 4 hours. And then I
Oh, I
believe
see.
it's,
I had never thought about that. I was just thinking about capacity, but rarity. So rarity increases your offline more than your capacity. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
yeah, I just picked up a Moonwalker backpack like three.
Baller.
I know I got super lucky. Um, I mean, yeah, yeah, it was just like the right timing. So I
Yeah,
think it
so
was
so
Void
that's a good
Major.
offline income,
So shout
right?
out to Void
That's
Major for giving me that deal there. But yeah, it's 16 hours.
I'm sorry, what you said? Who gave a shout out to what?
Void Major.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, that's you picked it up from?
Yeah, yeah, he had a couple up for sale. So
Nice. Yeah, he's fam. I know exactly who you're talking about.
yeah,
Shout out to him.
yeah, we I met him through the Monks when the Mint was going on. Chatted with him a bit and helped push that project a little bit. But yeah, super nice guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, he helped me get myself a Moonwalker. But the I'm pretty sure it's 16 hours. I was like, wow, that's a
Nice.
lot of offline income collection.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, hey, I
So
definitely.
you're right, because it helps to so yeah, you mentioned something that we should go back to, which is the lifestyle, depending of the lifestyle and the type of playing style that you want, right? Because you're busy, you're this and that, and you're able to be offline for maybe a day, 2 days, and you're still producing your diamonds at full capacity. Which everything that we're trying to talk about today is when it comes to NFTs, we're trying to maximize diamond production at this point because that's the main asset in the game, right?
Oh, exactly. Gold really isn't that important. I mean, it's important for the start of competitions, right? And this is where we need to differentiate is, a lot of what we're talking about is just getting yourself set up in the game and not really specific to competition. But everything that you're purchasing is going to help you significantly in competition because it's setting you up to have that extra diamond generation, right? And taking yourself from, 1.5, 2 million diamonds an hour up to something like 3.5, 4 million diamonds an hour is a pretty significant jump, right?
Yeah, because you're able to get the boosters and expand your game experience. So yeah, we're trying to increase everything in normal mode, and that's what we can test. That's the sandbox. But ultimately, everything's gonna everything helps for the competition mode.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say, let's look at like, let's say the floor right now is $5 for some common backpacks that have okay capacity, I would probably buy six of them, right? That's 3 extra hours of the common ones. and then maybe buy a rare one for like $12, you know. Um well, let's say two rare ones to bring you up to a total of 9 hours of offline income. Um
Uh-huh.
and you let's say probably somewhere around like 30 capacity for your backpacks. Could be a little bit
Yeah.
more. You could be close to 40, depending on if you get decent backpacks for cheap that are sort of going to give you that backpack capacity. Like you're not buying the very bottom of that tier. So sort of middle of the ground there, middle of the road. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's the best way to quantify it.
yeah, exactly. So that puts you at about $50 worth of backpacks, and you still have another $100 to spend, right? So you can then try to figure out, okay, is 9 hours enough time, right? Can you be away from your computer or have somebody help you check it every 9 hours? Or do you need more time? Do you need a half a day? You know, if you need a half a day,
Yeah.
look at purchasing a couple more backpacks. If not, maybe look at buying some more land.
Yeah, I think for to keep a balance between normal mode and competition mode, I think we're starting off pretty well right there because if you're in competition mode, you don't want to be away from your computer for that many hours. But if you're not, so I think that's a good balance. I think we're at a good balance of off, regular mode, and then for off for competition mode. So now we need some tools to fill up in those backpacks.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, whether you take, let's say we have another $100 here then to spend, right? So you've got 5 dunes, you've got a dark line, you've got some common backpacks and a couple rares, right, to get you to 9-ish hours offline income. Got $100 left to spend. So I guess, my biggest recommendation would be think of, are you going to be an attacker, or are you more interested in having passive bonuses, right? So that's where you need to look at, okay, I'm going to buy weapons because I'm going to be a constant attacker to get those gold boosts versus somebody that's like, no, I'm just going to buy some tools so that the base of my city is just boosted, and then attacks are maybe not going to hit as hard, but um, yeah. So I guess that's the
Yeah.
play style difference, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. And I'm looking at a chart that I have right now that says so what the tools and the capacity and what they bring to the table. So the knife takes one capacity. It helps out with the experience. So that's experience gain. So that's when we set things on the mansion. Then the compass is one. So I would say my suggestion would be to look at the diamond production row.
Yes.
Right here is navigators, takes up two, and it has two check marks on the diamond production. And then the med packs and the binoculars, they both take three spaces on the backpack, and they both help out with three check marks of the diamonds, which is the max of the. They're all either two or three check marks.
Do shovels.
So that's actually the mobile shelter. It gives a lot of gold production, but if we're just talking diamonds, the binoculars give you three check marks of production, as well as the med packs.
Okay, so shovels are XP and gold, right?
The shovels, let's see. Oh yeah, the groundbreakers. No, groundbreakers. It's gold and XP. Yes,
Okay, for
and
some
three check
reason.
marks, so it's max. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like with a tent at 6, I mean that's just I only have one tent. Like, take it for what
Yeah,
that
you're
is,
right, and they
but
take up a lot of space. Huh?
oh, they take
It's
up a
gonna take
lot.
up the whole backpack.
It's over your base capacity. So if you don't own any backpacks, you can't even equip a tent. You need to own a
Yeah, I know.
backpack.
Yeah, shelters are for after you win a couple competitions.
Yeah, and I think they're like $80 still, which I know that they were at the start kind of around $120. So I mean they've lost
Dude, I think I bought.
$40, lost a
Yeah, I think
third.
I bought mine for 125. I think I bought mine.
Yeah, yeah, I got lucky actually on my birthday. I opened some of the packs and got one.
What?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a super sweet birthday gift.
Congrats.
I was like, nice, got a shovel and I got the back or the tent. Um,
Yeah, I can celebrate. I can get drunk, and I can sleep in my tent.
exactly. And I'll dig a hole with my shovel.
With my groundbreaker.
Yeah, it was a beautiful groundbreaker. But yeah, okay, so yeah, like we're saying, focus on things like your binoculars, your pads, navigators, sorry.
Medipacks.
Um, I do like having a couple XP tools. I find them useful for just leveling up a little bit faster in competition. But again, they're sort of that weird spot where it's like you're not gonna really use them very often until you're placing furniture in the mansion. So they're,
No,
you know,
but you're right. We're not gonna use them as often in normal mode, but in competition mode, you're absolutely right. They are crucial, and I didn't even think about that. So investing in experience. The knives, it's one capacity. It has two check marks. And then as far as like what the potential that it gains on experience, and then we have the compass for two check marks. The lantern, it's the one that is two capacity, but it gives three check marks on the experience. So a couple lanterns is a good idea.
and you want to know what? I saw a lantern 3 days ago go for $1.
No
So
way.
yeah, I looked and I was like, man, I literally missed it. It was like sold 15 minutes ago. I was like, man, I would have bought that. I think it was a
Yeah,
petabyte
Google
one
Lens.
too. I was just like, who's selling a lantern for $1? But people just floor stuff because they want it gone quick. So if you've got things set and you're watching these, I'm gonna kick myself later because people are gonna start watching them and I'm gonna miss out on some great deals. But yeah, you'll find people list things for $1 or $2 and you can pick it up and it's a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I mean, sometimes they see other opportunity. That's why again, there's always opportunities everywhere.
no, exactly. So yeah, I guess let's say you spend $50 on some tools, right? You got yourself two or three flashlights, a couple of navigators, and heck, maybe you splurged and
Backpack.
you got yourself a shovel because you thought they were kind of cool. Got yourself a groundbreaker.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, and
Yeah,
also,
groundbreakers are good because groundbreakers are for gold and for experience. So gold, it's actually also actually groundbreakers. The groundbreakers a good balance for competition, right? Because it helps with the gold, which we're gonna need at the beginning, and it helps with experience, which we're gonna need at the beginning. So yeah, I think you called it right. I think a groundbreaker it's a must in our budget.
and they're cheap right now. I remember completing my collection at $30, right? So that had one of each type or
Yeah,
whatever element they call it. They're like
yeah, I love
$17
that.
right now. Like I'm looking at maybe picking up a couple more just later on to resell because like $17.
The groundbreakers.
Yeah, I saw. I don't. Maybe the prices went up a little bit recently, but I thought I saw like two or three at $17 and was like, I should just liquidate some more crypto and buy some more NFTs.
Oh, I don't know, but I feel like that when they saw all the flashlights at $1, I'm like, somebody's gonna want these diamonds, and they bought all the $1 flashlights.
I know I bought a couple days ago actually, just because yeah, it's like might as well. Now
Yep, yep.
you're pretty good when it comes to attacking. I'm definitely that's one of my weaker suits. I spent way too much on tools and have sort of just slowly been buying some weapons and armor. So let's say they spend about let's say $60 on tools and they've got $40 left now. What would you suggest for picking up whether it's armor or actual weapons?
Yeah, so I think weapons. Yeah, you're right. Weapons is good. Um, I would say that the best ones are the ones that are applied to the malware mailstorm. Just because it affects the biggest earner that you have, and it's also like at the diamond price, that's what it cuts off, so let's say that you buy tools for the one that only affects comments and you don't have any comments, so there goes that. Or let's say that you try to get the one for the savannah, but then you don't know about the obstacles, so that goes that. So I would say my rest when it comes to attacks, I would go for the malware Mailstorm, which is the Pixel Jammer, and then the Viral Capsule.
Yeah, no, that's my top attack as well. Though I do, and I know that it doesn't affect people with a blockchain land, but I really do like Savannah Bandit. I'm sad that they reduced the percentage that you get down to 40 from 70% of the attack. But one thing that I do like about it is, with the land that I'm playing, at least on a Molten Cavern, is I can get 9 businesses around my obstacles at a max. And so I could be boosting 9 off of there, but I can also take about 6 of them off the obstacles if I need to. Um, so you can sort of play that game where, I find Savannah Bandit still practical to use for myself because, I can get a couple really good hits. And as they stack up, those are multipliers for everything that's touching an obstacle instead of just multiplying or giving a booster to one business.
Yeah, yep, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Savannah, it's kind of like the Joker in the deck. Like you could play it a little bit in different ways, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and this is where, like I don't run very many commons, right? Like commons sort of just are there to meet prestige. Um
Yes.
even in competition, right? Like I'm usually trying to run at least an uncommon as my lead building, right? So it's not going to get boosted by Veil of Venom, and it's also not getting taken down by Veil of Venom, right? The only thing I have to worry about now is it on an obstacle to get hit? Is it going to get hit by malware Maelstrom, or is somebody going to come in and kingpin me? Because after a kingpin, I'm pretty much done anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, I know the feeling. But yeah, you're right. Sometimes it's even worth just buying the defense also for the Savannah instead of having to move the buildings. Maybe just or even if you got it on the daily roar or from the vans, if you have the defense for the Savannah, it's always good to activate it also. So yeah, you're right. The Savannah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites too.
yeah, and I think it's so what are they like $6 right now or something like that for some of the time bombs? Might even be cheaper, right? So like get a couple time bombs, get a couple of pixel jammers, and maybe what's the bandit sidearm, right? The sidearm that boosts your Savannah Bandit as well. So some of those like cheaper, get like the core tools. Maybe look at a couple of the cheaper elite tools for boosting your malware Maelstrom and your Savannah Bandit. Uh, that would be my suggestion. Maybe forget about buying armor at this point. Armor's really for like those top dogs that need to have defenses up. Whereas, somebody, even myself, like I only buy a defense if I'm really hit hard. Otherwise, I'll just try to do attacks to out boost my businesses for that attack that's affecting me.
No, yeah, you're right because at some point, yeah, there's when you're not all the way up there where it's constant, um, it's kind of like a little bit like if you don't attack me, I don't attack you. We don't waste the diamonds. You don't waste the diamonds. Um, but yeah, we still have to get those attacks. That's actually what kind of helps me when I'm sleeping. It's the lack. It's not so much of the lack of prestige in. I mean, of course that is, but what really speeds up the process in the competition, it's the boosters, the attacks, the attacks, the attacks, the attacks.
Exactly. I find that that's and I've been trying to attack a bit more lately in the competitions to get my head fully wrapped around the benefits of it. And I'm starting to see that there's a lot of benefit, especially like, I imagine like yourself, you've probably got almost max duration for attacks as well, right? So like being able to hit somebody and have a 4 hour and 10 minute booster of the 70% that you hit them for is pretty nice. Especially when the cost of
It makes a
a malware
difference, right?
maelstrom. Exactly, like a malware maelstrom is like, for me it's under 700 million diamonds. Or sorry, 700,000 diamonds, right? So I think it's like what, 655 or something like that if you've got enough of the.
Uh, let me see. Hold on. Well, let me see what it is for me. We're probably at the same
Yeah.
range. 657,
Okay.
657. Okay.
So I might have, what do you got? 3 Mary?
Um, let's see. I'm glad that you know these things because I just have things and I'm not sure. So I have, yeah, three Mary. Look at you. I have
Yeah,
three Mary. Yeah.
because I got 4
So
and
the
mine's
Mary, it's the one
655.
that helps out with the cost.
Yep, yeah, Mary helps reduce it and increases the duration. So you probably hit for about 4 hours and 5 minutes. I think I'm 4 hours and seven. Whereas if you have Max Mary, you'd be close to 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Mhm. See, that's why I tell people this is a game about math, but I just play it, and what I play, I know because of experience. But there's like the guys like you, like there's like guys that really do the math of knowing what things do. So yeah, like that's why I think we make a good team because what I don't know, you know, what I don't know, you know, and what I don't know, you know.
And I'm
So
still
you
not
all
very
know,
good
you
with
know it all.
numbers. And if we could get somebody like Dikembo or even Lin Gao, like those guys, I've seen some of their stuff that they've put into the Discord, and they've got way better knowledge of math than I do. There's somebody else, I'm skipping on their name right now. They helped me put together my Excel sheet.
But just Kimbo alone, like Kimbo really like he's about his timers too. Like he says, like, and I'm glad that you brought that up too. Because we can, I don't know, is that the next topic? The comp mode competition? Should we jump
Yeah,
into that?
yeah, I think so. Maybe just before we
So
do that.
we
So
did good with a good budget, right? We did pretty good with the 500 budget, with the
yeah, yeah,
500 budget.
exactly. So for 500, you bought a
We got a
nice
dark lion.
dark line. We've got 5 dunes, right? We've got we've got an extra 5 hours of backpack offline income, plus hopefully about 40 capacity. And we've bought some tools to help boost our diamonds and XP, as well as a little bit of gold. And we've also purchased some things like the time bombs, the sidearms, pixel jammers, and viral capsules. Or sorry, virus capsules. Those are
Mhm.
your weapons, right? We're sort of advising to not really look at any armor at this point, just because it's very difficult to make them work well in a strategy, unless you've already got like 6, 7 million diamonds per hour generation.
Yeah, if you're starting off, you're not gonna have that many, that much trouble, especially after they kind of made it harder for people to drop down and attack other people that are not in the same range. So yeah, we don't really need to protect. We need to kind of be on the attack and get up there
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
new beginner. You know? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like the chances of you getting hit by a whale moving up through the ranks, I mean, it's still there, but it's unlikely you're going to get somebody hitting you with a 120% kingpin. Most people are going to probably hit you for like
Go to zero.
15,
Take you to
20.
zero.
Yeah, exactly. That's an instant zero. You might as well just come back in 4 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For
so
real.
so we can talk a bit now about the competitions, right? So event 6 was the first introduction of factions, right? So that was the first battle where we actually had the Legion versus the Void. Previous to that, there were some blitzes. So event 225, those were the initial blitzes, sort of introducing battles and the attack modes and stuff like that prior to factions. And there was some other stuff that they were testing. Obviously, event number one, that was the first World Series, Rise of the Golden City. And then from 6 onward, I believe 14 will be the Christmas Showdown, which is this weekend. And 13 was the Winter Showdown. So the showdowns being 3-day sort of weekend events. And what was it? Event 10
The
was
last
the
one,
last blitz.
13. The last one.
The last blitz, though, the Royal Blitz. I believe that was event 10 or
Oh,
11.
let's see. Event 10. Royal Blitz. Yeah, event 10.
Okay. Yeah, so that was the last actual blitz where NFTs were part of the prize pool. Right now, this is like all of these showdowns are out of out of the original plan. Like they were sort of events added, um, just really to help us test the market features, right? And again, being said, are they going to introduce auctions before this weekend's event?
Are they ever gonna use auctions?
Yeah, we'll see if that ever happens or not. Um,
Right? Like I think that's the most expected update, I would say. What do you think?
exactly. And I thought it was going to be last, like the winter showdown. But again, here we are going into the Christmas showdown, and we only have one more showdown after this. They got to get this update out sooner than rather than later. They're going to get this feature tested properly before the World Series 2, the Great War.
But they can still introduce it in normal mode, and we can still test that on the normal mode.
I suppose that's true. I don't
Yeah,
think there's not as many eyes on the market during normal mode though, right?
yeah, but wait till we take a picture of the market next to Donald Trump, it's gonna pop up.
Yeah, there we go.
Like anything can happen in one update. Look what happened with one picture. I think we have the update of look all of a sudden the action. Oh my goodness, the market is gonna pop off. I mean, even on the when they introduced the workshop, I haven't seen the blueprints at 1 crore for a long time, or what would be now at 1,000 vouchers.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
mostly actually I saw they bumped up to 4,000 vouchers.
Dude, yeah, I tried to sell that, but I guess that was a peak because my blueprint didn't sell, so it went down from there.
Ah,
Oh, because I moved up 2 levels, so I went from level 100 to 102, so I got two free blueprints that I tried to sell, but the market didn't like me.
too bad. I finally got to the point where I can start leveling up again. But I'm sort of holding off on it. I want to see once the monks business is introduced because I still don't know. Like if you get a blueprint, is it from the pool that was available at the time the blueprint was awarded? Or is it just when I open the blueprint, it's pulling from all of the available businesses pool? Like, is it already
Yeah,
predetermined or?
I think it'll be when we open it. So yeah, you're right. I think it's best to get blueprints, but don't open them until after the monk's business is introduced. Because it should be about the time you open your blueprints, not the time you acquire them.
And that's what I hope, right? But I'm sort of worried that, like, well, what if it is at the time of acquiring it? So I'm
Yeah,
just
you
holding off
never
on.
know.
I don't need to level up. I don't need to do any leveling up. Technically, I can still continue prestiging. So I think I'm just gonna wait, and once the monk's business is out, I'm gonna do some leveling up, have a bunch of blueprints, and pray that I get
Yeah.
the monk's business.
That sounds like a sound plan. That sounds like a sound idea.
I want one. I'm super excited to see what this feature is.
Yeah, how many spaces?
But before
At
we get
least
into
three.
speculation, we should.
Uh,
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I thought that the
okay, yeah, competition mode. My
yeah.
bad, my bad. There is something. So I would really want, including you, to be the believers of the one click. Do the one click during this next weekend competition mode and see how much better you might think you got, as opposed to the other competitions where we do the 10 or the 100. Like, be a believer of the one click. And I'm also saying that because I also heard a while ago Gary emphasize the importance that he was talking to Big. And shout out to Big, shout out to Gary. If anything as we say here or whatever is wrong, let us know in the comments. But as far as I remember Gary saying, shout out to Big for telling me the importance of the one click on the competition.
I okay. You know
Like,
what?
what's
I
more
will try
popular?
doing it because I'm always 10x. I do 1x until I get to an even number. Well, actually, usually till 9, and then I just go through 10x's.
Yeah, so see, I do my 1x until I think it's like 390 or 4 before I start like moving on to try to prestige. But at least do the one until you get to 300 or 350 and see if you improve a little spaces here and there,
Oh, there's
I'm just
just so
saying,
many
give it a
clicks.
chance, give it a try.
Well, it's a good thing I'm off this Friday. We spending all my
Hey,
time
so that
clicking.
you have time to click the one up.
Yeah. Hey, that's 300 clicks per business. No, I'll give that a try and see. I mean, you usually place higher
Just to
than
see if it
you on
makes
the
a
leaderboard,
difference.
so it could be a potential.
Right? Like there might be something there, right?
There could be. They're rewarding you for the extra time you put into it.
I mean, yeah, just on the spread. The spread alone is like at least you have when you click 110, that was your chance. You took that one gamble. You the gamble get, but if you do the 10, you stick to the average, and hopefully you average on the upside. Especially when your quality increases, because when your quality increases, every time you click, your upside spread is bigger. So the higher your quality, the better it is for you to level up by the one, because every one that you click, you're having the chance to level up at the higher tier. As opposed to the 10 or the 100. That there goes your chance. I hope it was in the higher tier. That the quality that you pay diamonds for is gonna give you the chance to earn. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. No, I get it too, right? Because like you're saying, if you roll a bad 100x, which I only do when I'm trying to push to prestige the building anyways, I'm usually just 10x all the time. But if you hit a bad 100x, that's 100 bad rolls in a row, right? Whereas at least
Yes.
1x rolling it, you're not going to hit 100 bad rolls in a row. You're going to do a couple bad ones, some really good ones, a couple medium ones, a couple good ones, some really bad ones, right? It's going to flip flop. So, no, you know what? I'll
Yes, sir.
give it an honest chance. I'll do the 1x, see how well it places me this comp.
All right, all right. Maybe I'll do the 100 and see how it places me.
So
Nope,
do
I'm doing my 1x.
10x is where I stop. Um,
I remember somebody, I can't remember who it was. One of the users, he was like, "Yeah, you keep doing that and keep doing your 1x, bro."
No, that was me. I called out on that the first
Yeah,
earlier. I think it was in the monks chat.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. See our wink? You see how the universe circles back?
yeah. Oh, I felt bad afterwards because you're sort of like, hey, everybody's got their own strategy. I was like, I didn't mean to like. I was actually appreciating it. I was like, you're just sitting there pushing 1x, man. You got some moxie going, just going at. I thought it was just
I have
funny.
anxiety. That's what I have.
Whereas I'm just like, at least on normal mode,
Yeah,
like I don't care. I'm just trying to get to the next prestige. Pretty much just 100
yeah.
commons. The only thing I actually level up, like I was saying earlier, is my arcade, my museum, my motors, and my Fearless. the Cineplex.
Yeah,
Those are the only ones I actually
yeah.
look
Well, that I did get from you, bro. I don't do my cook cats anymore on the normal, at least in normal mode. I don't do my cook cats at one anymore. Those I do 100 and so
They just
yeah,
they,
you know,
they decay
yeah.
so quick after 100, like P100. It's just like
After
you're
the
not even
P50,
giving me
after
gold.
P60, I think after P60, like the diminishing returns is like
Yeah, they're
way
like
down
down to
there.
like 20% or something like that of the actual income it generates. It just decays so quick. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I guess there's nothing really else to say. Like Winter Showdown, that was okay.
we'll
We
see
didn't
how
test
it goes.
anything. We got the Christmas Showdown coming up this weekend. Hopefully, they introduce auctions for us to test. If not, I suppose we've still got the New Year's Showdown, which is early January. So yeah, we'll see how it all pans out. But I think that's all I've really got to say for a competition. I know we're at about 50 minutes here, so can we'll
Okay,
try to
yeah, I
wrap it
think
up
I'm
with some.
good at competitions.
You're good with comp? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, just make sure you log in, make sure you play, get any vouchers that you guys can get if you're listening. Again, make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share with everybody. But also make sure that you're in the competition mode and get those vouchers because you're gonna need those vouchers for the market. So even if you log in, no matter how small, big you are, just get in the game competitions and get your vouchers, man.
and here's a tip that I am gonna probably regret giving you guys, but you don't have to choose a faction, right? So you don't have to choose a faction. You can sit on the sidelines and choose the faction that's going to win. Spend all the diamonds you've collected on boosters. You don't even need to use them. And then all of those diamonds you spent in the competition, even though you didn't even really play, right? You're going to get 5% of those back to your normal mode for siding with whatever faction wins. So, yeah, it can help your
There you
normal
go.
mode.
You heard it here first, folks. You
It,
heard the alpha right here first.
I've thought about it because like last competition, I saw a lot of people not choosing a faction. And I was like, well, what's the point of doing that? Right? I guess their explanation was, well, I can attack anybody without having to get that extra prompt. And I was like, yeah, but like you're missing out on a minimum 2% diamond booster, right? Like I think it's two, right? Whereas, or maybe it's 3 and 9 or something like that. But it's like you're missing out on boosters for your diamonds, gold, everything. And then if you don't choose one by the end, right? And then that's what made me think maybe they're waiting to see who's going to win. And then they're going to choose
And
that
end up with the
faction.
diamonds at the end.
Exactly, because you get the diamonds
Uh,
to be part of the winning faction.
yep, yeah. There you go. See, that's why you guys gotta subscribe to this podcast because this is where you hear all the info.
Yeah, yeah, all the dirty tricks.
Yeah, and it's no. Here's a fellow Void, fellow Legion, and we're all here for the game. We're all here to help everybody out, make y'all, And if you guys have again any comments, make sure you let us know anything you want us to talk about. Anything? See, like right now, Arwing told me about the benefits, like the breakdown of the berries. I didn't know, like he was quick with the berries, like So yeah, um, all the
Yeah.
info's here. So that was competition. What else is next, brother?
Well, I mean, we can speculate for a little bit here down to the final hour, and we could probably call her a night. So, I mean, we were, discussing a bit earlier about the loaded Lions floor, and how crazy it's been going lately. We've even, before we saw this uptick, like last week, we were just talking Dark Lions being $100. Last week, you could have found some at 70, right? So there was even a $30 increase there, 30% really. So, within the last month, the loaded lions, like, about a month ago, they were sitting around $700 US at the floor. And I believe today they are just under 1,500 US. Um, so there's been some good price action, some really nice gains, all across the main city NFT collections, really, right? Like even, Dunes, they're back up to $40. We saw the Auroras, right? The alluring Auroras, they're up to 70 again. They were down to 60 at one point. They've went up $10. You know, we're, yeah, just all around seeing some price gains. Now, whether that's, just bullish sentiment across the board for NFTs, or if there's more associated with it being crypto.com, can't really, speak for certain. But I mean, I'm pretty bullish. We're going into the new year and we're going to have a big competition. If the prize pool is significant, we could really see some big numbers come out.
Yeah, no, and I think that another thing that has been they've been rolling out lately is those in real life experiences, right? We're getting those tickets from the Premier League. We're getting tickets for the here in LA for the Kings, for the Lakers. And I really believe that ever since they started doing those raffles, that's when the Lions, people started really looking into the Lions and getting those extra benefits.
Yeah,
Um,
I know I put my name in for I think it was a Montreal game
mhm.
versus the Kings. Hockey, obviously. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would fly over there for that, take a vacation.
Yeah,
Try
and it's not just like, oh, you're getting like some sort of seats. Like it's a suite, right? Like you get a suite. That's what it,
exactly. That's the thing. It's like your own little box seat suite thing. So I was like, yeah, heck, why not, right? Like, think about it. That's a
Yeah, all my family members, I said I wasn't doing nothing with my life with this crypto money. I will send you a picture.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna send you a picture from the box. This was a free ticket, right? That's the
with
thing
my
that's
with my Lole lion on my cell phone, right? Like
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, if I end up winning that, I got to get a good like laminated printout or something, card stock of my lion. Like you see Crypto Diamond, him and his gold lion.
yeah.
Yeah, he takes pictures of that as he travels.
And he goes everywhere. They
Oh,
can't go away with that. Yeah, I think he even takes Hayden with him sometimes. He has, I think, a picture of Don't Be Hating also too, like he's lying.
oh yeah, he is lying
Yeah,
on
they're
his
good
hood.
buddies. Like, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man.
He's like, yeah,
They
look,
travel
I'm
like
taking.
those.
I remember seeing a picture from Crypto Diamond saying, "Luke Hayden, I'm taking you with me on vacation."
Yeah, yeah. It's just a picture though.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I mean, other than like the price action that we've seen there, there's other speculations around the development of Main City more into a metaverse. But until I think we see the market defined correctly so that nobody can like cheat the system, then I think they're going to start building on top of that foundation, right? Because really the basis of the game is trading businesses and building a city empire, right? So if there's a way to cheat the system on the market, and that's the base foundation of the game's not going to do very well, right? Like you want to make sure the base principle, trading businesses, is going to work correctly, right? And then they could start to add new features like, you know, Papa Bigfoot's quests and, the, whatever else, like the big we've got five other rooms in the mansion that are still to come. So there's still a lot of stuff, down the pipeline. One big thing I'm interested in seeing is the world map. I want to see how that works. Maybe one day, 2 years down the road, we're a little less battle heavy and a lot more out exploring all the arids that I've been collecting, right? We can actually like physically walk around like an overworld RPG or a click and play or whatever, looking for diamonds. Who knows?
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Somebody mentioned like it'll be really cool if we can actually play the games in the arcade room,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I've said that a couple times. I'm like, come on, guys. how hard is it to make a pinball game, right? For us just to go into the mansion and have a weekly $10 million or 10 million, sorry, diamond prize, right? For the top people on the leaderboard, right? 10 million split between the top 10 that could get the top on a pinball game, all right? That would be some reason for us
Yeah.
to, because right now nobody goes to the mansion, right? Like,
Not unless you need to like level up. But yeah, nobody's like decorating it to like flex. Like I remember, dude. I remember like earlier, I was like, "Why are you guys putting the plants over and over again?" And they're like, "Well, that's how you level up." And I'm like, "Oh, I was just like putting like fancy things on my land, like on my rooms without knowing."
yeah, actually
So
decorating.
yeah, so yeah, even having like a weekly contest of decoration for mansions will be alright, right?
Yeah, I think so. Right? But that's where it's like the simplest game I would see in the arcade would be a pinball machine, right? Or even make like a track
Yeah.
racing game, right? Like just have one
Even if we
track,
have
we
to put
all
up diamonds,
yeah, well,
like
hey,
I'm done to put 100, like 100,000 or 200,000 diamonds into the pool for the weekend pinball machine game for all of us here, right?
yeah, or even they just start off with 100 million as the prize pool, split between the top 10, and every time you want to play it costs 10,000 diamonds,
Oh,
right? And that
nice.
gets
All
added to
right, all
the
right.
prize pool, right? There's little things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
right? There's little things they could do like that just to because I can guarantee you, you're getting to the point that I was at like about 4 months ago, and you're about to hit your max avatar level until you hit P 170 ish. I think it's 175, and then you could start placing furniture again. It is the longest climb. Took forever.
Yeah, those 3 months in lion years is forever.
Oh, well, and that's where I'm saying, like, I didn't go to my mansion at all. Like, there was zero reason to go into my mansion because I knew I had no furniture to place. I think the only time I went in there was just to let my friend, like my one friend, their kid, play around in my mansion and decorate it a bit. I was like, here, this is something you can go and fuck around with, and you're not going to fuck anything up. So it's sorry about the language, but yeah, you know what I mean, it's just sort of like, go play, have fun, decorate, make it look cool. I'm not decorating it anyways. And they still found the stuff I couldn't buy. They're like, why can't I put this? It's like because that's a C. I think it's like CB or something like that, or CE.
They're in that purple plan, I think, huh?
Yeah, there's some really expensive furniture, right? So
Yeah, but hey, but you know what? I just hit the TVs. I'm like, oh, but that was like the only thing that I could do. The TVs on the walls, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta wait another 3 months.
yeah, yeah, that's it. You'll get to the. I'm at the purple palm plants right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw that too. So I was at the TV. It's the TVs are the one right before the purple plants, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get like, to our wings level, man.
Yeah, so I just got to those. Took forever though. That's why there's people in Division One, and I'm sitting here like I've just passed little, like I'm at like the 60% mark to being max level. Like really. So still a long climb to go. But hey, it's part of the journey. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. It's
But
fun.
and then I guess the last piece of speculation, like we were sort of saying earlier, is the monk business. Now I don't know any details past what's been publicly shared on the Discord, but it does sound like there's an interesting new feature, right? So it's not going to be just a business, right? And that's what's getting me excited, right? We're not just using and putting this business on the land to meet prestige requirements. There's going to actually be an actual feature, a function to this business.
Really?
Yep.
I
This,
hadn't heard that. Okay, okay. So what kind of utility do you think it's gonna have?
so I'm wondering, like, I mean, the basic concept could be it's a mansion like thing for the monks, right? So you can go in there and you can decorate a customized space. Now, this doesn't strike me as new feature, right? That they would be all clamoring about. So I doubt it's going to be like a monk mansion. I'm really hoping that there's a mini game of some sort. You know what I mean? Like, or a way to spend nuts, right? Like use the meme coin nuts in main city. Whether it's like, hey, like the Daily Roar, you can pay with diamonds or you can pay with vouchers. Well, maybe there's going to be something like a Daily Roar slot machine inside the monk's business, and you can pay nuts. And, one of the prizes could be diamonds, another prize could be a blueprint, you
More
know,
nuts.
more nuts, stuff like that, right? Probably not nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe probably diamonds. I doubt.
Well, you need
But
more nuts to keep speeding that wheel. I
yeah,
mean, if we're
but
gonna
Main
make the
City
nuts
sold
part
a
of
bunch of
the
theirs.
game, the way you're saying, it should be good to be rewarded in nuts too. But then, yeah, the way they write the code, maybe, huh?
Yeah, that's where and
But
so that's where it could be speculated that maybe they would do that, but I think it's going to be more based in the Crow ecosystem, right? So like actual Chronos coins and vouchers and stuff like that. So probably less likely we'll
yeah,
use
but
nuts.
just the idea of having a building do more than just being a building is very exciting.
Yeah, like I'm imagine even if it's just like like I don't know if you remember the old game, like that Temple Run game where it's literally just 3 lanes and you sort of run and you collect things. They could be running and
Yeah.
collecting the nuts, right? They're the monks on the run. So like that could even be just a basic
Oh,
little freaking game like Temple Run, swap back and
yeah.
forth who gets the best prize gets like I was talking earlier with the pinball weekly prize
Uh-huh.
100 million diamonds, right? Which isn't
Yeah.
insignificant, but I mean, for some people at 10 million diamond generation, what's 10 hours of an extra diamonds?
Hey, bro, anything it's like any little, anything helps.
Oh, exactly.
Anything helps. Anything that we get is more than we didn't have before we got it.
But I think the biggest thing that excites me about it is that, right now, the only reason to log in is just to collect your diamonds and progress your businesses, right? Level them up, get them to the next prestige, whatever, right? There's no real mini game. I mean, okay, arguably, oh well, you can go attack people, right? And it's like, yeah, but I'm just throwing out attacks and then that's it, right? Whereas, if they bring in something like a feature where it's like a mini game for each little community or even just whatever, right? Like a way for the community to rally around a business in the game and have a reason to stay in main city and play in that business. I think that's going to be a huge metaverse selling point, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can actually interact, right? Like even the the one of the good updates that they should be having up is the ability to be able to send messages between players, right? Through the inbox. That would be pretty cool.
Right? Like that and the friends list, right? Like you don't need to be on the same faction to be in a friends list or even like a guild. Maybe have like a guild that doesn't need to be within the same faction, right? Like I know we've been talking a bit about it in we've got a chain gang Discord for anybody that owns a loaded lion with the Kronos necklace. But we were talking like could we create a guild for every any player that's in main city that has a chain gang
Chain
line.
gang, baby. Chain gang in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that, right? Like,
Hey, yeah.
those are all
I
features
wish
that
it.
still need to come out.
Yeah, but then we're being a little ambitious because the ideas are there, but the technology needs to catch up. You know, so we
Yeah,
gotta, again, shout out to Papa Bigfoot because he always brings up the great ideas. But it seems like the writing of the code. It's what's kind of like being the limit right now, and it's because it's early technology again.
Yeah, and I don't know where their end game is. I mean, this is arguably, I guess, the flagship main city, or sorry, flagship CDC game, even though technically it's, an independent developer and it's just using NFTs that crypto.com's backing basically. But I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, it's still a partnership.
yeah, it's the main partnership
It's
for
the main part. There you
crypto.com.
go. You said it right. It's the main partnership.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the main city, main partnership.
There you go. Nice.
But yeah, we'll see. Because like I know there's, on the NFTs it says that there's going to be other games that are going to use land NFTs, right? Whether that ever happens or is it this year? Is it 2027? Maybe before the Olympics at the Crypto.com stadium. Who knows? But there's still other projects I would think maybe starting to be developed, but as of right now, there's nothing public, and this is the only one that is publicly partnered with Crypto.com. Aside from like partner programs and this Capybara game and whatever, right? Like that's not an NFT game, but um, I mean, we could talk about that later.
Yeah, it's still a partnership. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think they're trying to place themselves. They're trying to put their moves on the chessboard, and I think I like where they're going, and they do listen to the community. They've been implementing projects that were like literally community projects, like Nuts on the Run and Mary, and even now Crazy Monsters. So there's and all this is pretty new. Everything's young, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's lots of other projects that I think are starting to clamor at trying to get into Main City, right? Because sure, neither the monks nor the crazy monsters, arcane creatures, like sold out for their mint, but I would say they did fairly well with really, basically the bulk one without really any major details around what they're going to do in game to begin with, and two, like 10,000 for the arcane creatures for crazy monsters, like that's a lot of NFTs, right? Even the 2,500 for the monks, their stickler point being they're a bit overpriced, I would say, for what they're doing. But I guess they're right in around where the monk or the cyber cubs are value wise, but they're at 60% of their in-game benefits. So but it's the community partnership and community NFT, right? So yeah, it's that trade off where it's like they didn't mint out, but I wouldn't say that their mint was a failure.
No, I think the community is trying to like price things together. Many people that are in the community of the NFT itself, it's not really aware of the game, and many people in the game, it's not necessarily aware of what the community is doing as far as their Discord and everything. And so that's one thing I realized about how um everybody's trying to support the Chronos community. There's just that um disconnect between the community members of the projects and the game itself. A lot of them are not playing the game yet, which is we keep getting. I know you and I both keep getting the feedback of how people are appreciating these videos because it's giving them pretty much is saving them the time to research, and all you gotta do is just watch these YouTube videos, and we'll talk about the game because the same way that you're investing in your own project, and there's a reason why they're putting it into the game. So might as well take advantage of both and get crow. It's crow fam, you get crow by participating in the competitions,
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
yeah.
Well, and that's it, right? And it's that's sort of where I was looking to bridge that gap, and I think you're in the same mindset too, right? Like it's a learning curve, right? Like when you hop in, like the amount of people that I've seen that are just like, I don't know, I got 10 blueprints, so I got 10 businesses and I'm leveling them all up at the same time. It's like, no, 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 no. Just pick a
Yeah, no,
lane.
there's strategies to the game. Yeah,
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like I've seen so many times it's just like, yeah, look, I've got this one up to Prestige 2, and then they have like another six businesses at Prestige 1, and I'm just like, why did you do all of this? Why? And then they have like a bunch of like LL Cool Sports or the LL Sports or whatever, and a bunch of like random uncommons, and I'm just like, why did you level up all of your uncommons? It's just like, what are you doing here?
yeah, and I was there. Trust me, I was there. I was like, I just want more. Remember, I was like, I just want more income. But then I realized it's not about more income. It's about prestige up. And we go back to, I think a lot of, and this is pretty important for new players. It's not about how much faster you get in your income. It's about how faster you can climb up the prestige.
Yeah, because as soon as you hit that next Prestige, your income's just 10x. That's it.
Mm,
Right? It's always, well, a little under 10x, but for simple number, it just 10x. Every single time you hit a new
yeah.
prestige, you're basically
Uh,
10xing. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's a steep learning curve, but I guess I just want to circle back for the last piece of speculation. Since we were talking a lot about like, these Chronos projects getting onboarded as partnerships. And I guess just a little more to add to the speculation of what the monk's business might be. I had this thought a couple weeks ago, just sort of thinking about, how projects are going to get integrated, and if each project has its own like custom business, right? I'm wondering if these businesses are going to almost function like what a website is. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a Web3 browser almost, right? And like each business is going to be the community's website, right? So it's almost like a portal to the monk's website where their games and their royalties and everything happen through this in-game business, right? So then once the
Mhm.
crazy monsters get theirs, right, they'll have some sort of business where their whole community can go and log into Main City and, participate in activities that normally would just go through the normal crazy monsters website, right? But now it's all in Main City. It's basically like a portal to their website.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a that's a good idea. That's a great way to integrate everybody to actually log into Main City first, and then from Main City go to your hub, or sort of saying, go to your own community that you're supporting. So that would be good.
Yeah, because like you could have,
Um,
like if you're a huge monk owner and you love whatever the monk's business does, it's going to be on your first land,
mhm.
right? But maybe you're not super into Mary, right? Then their haunted house comes out, so you put it on the second land, right? I don't check my second land as often as I'm on my first land, but
Yeah.
or maybe you just have
No,
your land number 10's just all of the community businesses. You don't even bother prestiging them. They just sit back there and you just go and interact with them for the community aspect. Who knows, right?
yeah, just to network, just to go from here to there, and just like kind of like a Discord, but in the actual game. And yeah, that would be real good.
Yeah, I could pop in there with my legendary monk, as like an actual
Flex on
avatar.
everybody.
Huh?
And flex on everybody.
I am not the Nut King, unfortunately.
No,
No,
no, I'm saying like it's good. Like you can actually go to the community, and if you have a good NFT from that community, you can go and flex on that community. Is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get what you mean. Yeah, show off your awesome NFT, and that's what I think would be cool. Is like if it's an actual avatar, right? Like that's the future I want to see. Is where I can walk around my friend's mansion as my main PFP. whatever one I choose, right? Whether it's a monk, whether it's a loaded lion, whether it's a cyber cub, it could be a merry ghost, it could be a crazy monster. Who knows what else is going to get integrated, right? I don't think any other partnerships will be integrated, at least until after the Great War. So I think that's, we're looking at merry monks and crazy monsters sort of as
Pretty much.
yeah, they might maybe pull in another purely DeFi project to balance out Mary with the for the Legion, right? Since Mary's on Void and they're sort of like this DeFi project only, um, they might try to pull in another project that's Legion siding, but I doubt it at this point.
Yeah, I think they're waiting till after the Great War, like you said. Um, Hopefully, they'll be integrating those auctions by then. But yeah, man, the future looks very bright.
I think so. I mean, I'm thinking we're heading towards a nice 2025. Good bull run. We're going to see some good action on NFTs. I think, if Crow keeps climbing, like I wouldn't put it past the prize pool being $500,000 like for the Great War. And especially when you think about it, like we were putting up some good freaking numbers for people spending during blitzes back when Crow was like under 10 cents US, right? So that
Yeah,
all went to prize pools.
yeah, no, that's true. No,
Yeah. So we could see a
and
good.
dude, I was looking at the events on the very first event I participated in, and I was like on place 1,002. I didn't even make the 1,000s. So that's how everybody can know like strategies work. We can all get better. Um,
Yeah, I was kicking myself. I didn't realize how quick you would drop. I think I was like around like top almost breaking the top 400, and then I was like I'm going to secure some Crow. So I sold a couple of my businesses, and I dropped so quick in those like that last day that I went from like I think I was like I want to say it was like 430-ish or something, somewhere around there, maybe 420. And I dropped all the way down to 540. Like it was just like that fast. So, you
yeah,
know, even to speak to that, right? Like that's where they did a lot of tinkering with trying to get the leaderboard to work better, right? Because there were people that literally just bought a position at the very end and they were instantly number 17 just because they bought it, right?
yeah, and I think most of us can see our progress when we look back on the leaderboard. Like first, I was first event I was 1,022. Then I went to 645. Then 495. So granted, because again, what we were talking about to kind of bring it up as a summary, um, you invest a little bit on lands, you invest a little bit on tools, invest a little bit on backpacks. You can play free to play all the way, but the rewards again, it's kind of like everywhere, right? Like so yeah, to bring it all, wrap it around. If you have a little bit to invest, a little bit here and there, I hope you guys enjoy the game, and it's just super fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I believe it Woodrow. I know I see him in the Discord every so often, and as far as I remember reading, because he had talked a bit about it in strategies a while ago, but he actually was 100% free to play, and every NFT he owns has either been something that he won from a competition, right, as part of the prize pool, or he
Uh-huh.
is purchased with Crow that he's won from playing competitions, selling businesses, both in normal and in competition. So, I think he's got a couple lands now, a couple backpacks, and he places pretty well. So, like, if you're looking for somebody to really give you the free to play rundown, he can definitely probably give you some tips. So check him out in the Discord.
Yeah, Woodrow, you're absolutely right. I wanted to talk about that story in the last podcast, but thank you for bringing it up. You're absolutely right, and hopefully, maybe in the future, as everything continues to grow, maybe one day we'll start having like guests to speak about their own journey. But definitely Woodrow, it's one of them that deserves the spotlight for saying, even himself said it on Discord, like, look, I'm the perfect example of somebody who's straight out free to play and can move his way up.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to talk to him. So, hey, I mean, we could always open that up to the Discord in the new year, see what we can do. I guess speaking of which, I mean, maybe we can try to do something in between Christmas and New Year's. It's usually pretty hectic. I think we're sort of wrapping up the podcast here anyways. Do you have any thoughts about it? Like maybe we can try to find some time next week, but I think, really if any listeners made it to this almost hour and a half ending of the podcast, definitely look for the next podcast probably in the new year. But we'll see what we can do to maybe do a quick little chat in between Christmas and New Year's if you're down for that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm down. This weekend, I'm gonna be on a little Christmas weekend getaway with my family for the this little quick competition. But I'm definitely taking my laptop with me. I'm definitely squeezing in as many clicks as I can squeeze in. But
You
yeah,
gonna try the
December
10x?
27. I know it's. I'm sorry, what?
Is that you gonna try 10x?
No, 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 sir. My family better wait for me while I do my one.
What?
Yeah,
I don't.
no. That's
I
against the law. No, I'm playing.
yeah. I can't.
Yeah,
You're
no.
too rich.
Again, the only time I do more than one X is when it's just for prestiging quality, like to complete, bringing cool cats up to to help out with the prestige. But other than that, it's one X all the way.
Yeah.
and,
No.
and
Very
and
respectable.
speaking of, you said you're gonna try this competition too, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
try it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see how long I can go. I'll definitely be interested to see the difference. At the start. All right. Just do the 1x. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. We'll try it out. But okay, yeah, we can try to shoot for some time after Christmas, maybe like 28th or
December
something.
27. I know
Yeah,
December 27th is a Friday because that's my birthday.
yeah. I was gonna say you wanted to do a birthday podcast.
Yeah, we should. We should see how it went for the weekend and see. We can actually like summer up how our experience was with the 1X
Yeah,
trial.
yeah, exactly. We could just do something short, just a quick like debrief talk or whatever about the winter showdown, or sorry, the Christmas showdown. Um, But yeah, I mean, other than
Yeah,
that,
for
so
sure.
so yeah, just to quickly wrap up here, so to summarize, we went over what we would spend $500 on, so look at like DJ was saying, get some lands, get a dark line, get a couple backpacks to bring up your offline income collection, as well as giving you capacity, and then fill that capacity with some tools and some weapons. Probably avoid armor, unless maybe you want to get in like an encryption device. Aside from that, then we sort of tried to talk a little bit about the competitions, went over the history of when factions were started, when we started attacks and stuff like that. And then the changeover from blitzes to showdowns, and then how they switched, how they weren't really planned, but now are sort of necessary for us to test features. And then lastly, we just sort of talked a little bit about the Loaded Lions floor, other main city NFTs, and their price action recently, as well as some speculation. If you guys want to hear some more speculation, I'm sure we could sit here all day and talk about it. So yeah, drop it down in the comments if you want to hear anything specific, though. or if you have any specific questions, and we can maybe do like a leading into New Year's, answering some questions and talking a bit about our Christmas Showdown experience.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Everybody, we thank you guys for staying with us. Shout out to our wing for always holding down everything where we can be a structure, because I can go over all over the place. And so, well, I hope you guys do get some lands, some dark lions, lonely lions if you're there. If not, it's all good in the hood. Get a cyber cub. We just love this game, and we can talk about this game for hours and hours. Um, so yeah, like Arwing said, if you guys have any questions, any comments, something we're missing, or something else that you guys want us to talk about, go ahead and leave it there. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and yeah, thank you guys for staying with us.
Yeah, I mean, if you made it to the end, thank you very much. And I guess the last piece of business is to, wish you and your family Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, season's greetings, whatever it may be. And yeah, we'll definitely catch you after the Christmas Showdown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy holidays to everybody. Have a beautiful time. And yeah, thank you, Arwink, again for holding it down.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me, DJ Oracle. So, yeah, we'll chat after Christmas and hopefully for your birthday. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Peace.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one.